Hi, folks, and welcome to TrueAwesome.com's Awesome Chat Live. My name is JP Adkins, and I am going to be your host today. Today's guest is the very beautiful, very wonderful, and very talented Joelle Casteel. As we're getting her in, we're going to talk about her real quick. According to her bio, Joelle Casteel has so many faces and ways of being that no assumption is ever safe. The woman who will use a child's backpack as a purse is just as likely to describe graphic sex act. Her master, the dominant in their BDSM relationship that shapes much of her life, jokes that she is so far from the mainstream that she has forgotten what the mainstream is. I can tell you that having met her, that statement is definitely true, and it shows up a lot in her writing. She regularly blurs gender and sexual orientation lines, and yet fights against the misgendering of her characters. Whether a short story or novel, whether erotica or erotic romance, she tends to bring many taboos to the sex and BDSM table, alongside crazy plots, over-the-top characters, and romance, even in the midst of these strange relationships. You may never find in a greeting card store. Hey, Joelle, are you in here yet? Oh, are you in there?
Yeah.
Hi, Joelle. How are
Hey.
you?
Good. Although, like I just joked to you on Facebook, this is proof of Shaman's joke that Tech is allergic to me.
Yes, it is. Yes, yes, I truly believe that tech is allergic to you. Having worked with you for a while now, I truly believe this.
And that would be why I pay you to do as much of my tech as I possibly can, because it's hellish trying to do it myself.
Yeah, but the problem is that once you touch it, it messes everything up for me too.
Well, I try and keep my touching it to a limit.
So, um, and it's been just one of those. It's definitely been one of those days with technology. I've had some issues earlier on in the day too. We were working with some of our tech people with TrueAwesome.com. Just getting this to go live was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So I know that if we can start, I know that you're very active in the Universal Unitarian movement. Can you explain what that is to people at home?
Um, it's a tricky one because it's like a past minister friend was saying. So many people either realize where we were or what we are now, but don't realize that it's all one continuous history. Because we're actually made up of the Unitarian and Universalist faith traditions, both of which are very Christian. However, we're not actually Christian, although Christians are welcome in our faith movement. Um, we tend to be rather liberal as far as uh, politics are concerned, and definitely in socially liberal, except there are those places like with polyamory and kink identity where we are a bit further behind than I'd like us to be.
Yeah, I know that you live definitely in the kink lifestyle. Um, and as a lifestyle submissive, what's the stupidest question you've ever been asked?
Well, this one ties into the fact that I'm vegan as well, but I have been asked if I swallow my master's cum when I'm giving him a blowjob. Because somehow it seems that between knowing I'm vegan and knowing I'm a lifestyle submissive, that sort of question is totally acceptable to ask me.
Well, now I have to know the answer to that.
Well, of course, yes, because it's not like he's trapped in a pen or something like dairy cows are, and it's not like he would ever complain about the process. So, yes, I consider it totally acceptable to swallow.
Although you do like milking them, so
Well, I have to be flexible.
So, what I've been reading online a lot lately about some readers not wanting to pay more than $3.99 for ebooks. What is your take on that?
As well, I also have the problem as a newer author, and it frustrates me to see a lot of our friends who do have a larger readership than I do, who can get away with asking for a bit more. Although, thanks to Patricia for talking me out of 99 cents for my first book, because it is long enough to be worth $2.99, I think. And
I
I really needed to listen to her on not undervaluing myself.
That's very true. I think that as artists, I think that we tend to undervalue what we do,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I'm having the same issues with one of my current clients. But yeah, it's important to actually number one, you on 99-cent books on especially with Amazon, you don't make any money.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to some of the worldview questions that I have for you. I know that you homeschool your son Finn. What do you think our public schools need to make them more competitive in today's world?
Um, an allowance for a lot more of out-of-the-box thinking. We tend to push out these carbon copies who can't be inventive to compete against a global market where too many people are coming up with entirely radical ideas, new ways of doing things, and with our lack of education as a country, and then how conformist we have become. I mean, after the 60s, you would hope that we would hold on to some of that radicalness, but so much of it has been lost. And we keep on trying to do the same exact thing that hasn't worked in the past to fix problems that are still very much with us.
I really have to agree. And I've been seeing a lot for the new online schooling and for high school kids. And do you think that's helping, or is that just kind of doing the same thing over again?
It really depends on a lot of factors. Finn has an ex-girlfriend who was homeschooled as well. Unfortunately, her parents just got one of those online schools and then weren't involved at all. I actually acted as the girl's tutor when she couldn't get in contact with her teachers that she was supposed to have contact with through the online school. So she basically had a computer and me over Facebook Messenger to try and learn. But
I
whereas I'm very involved with Finn's education, so to me that's different than just setting him in front of a computer and telling him to go.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big problems with education today is that parents think they can just send the kids to school and then they don't have to do anything about it. So, I moving on. Do you think that shows like Sister Wives help or hurt the polyamorous community?
It's very mixed. For some people it does, and for others it doesn't. Part of the issue I see is how much the focus is on families where polygamy equals lots of kids. It doesn't even matter if it's an extreme patriarchal situation like with the FLDS that you had in Breaking the Faith, or the more liberal of the Brown family on Sister Wives. Just all those children. Because I don't think all those children, it's never going to get to a point where average people can be accepting because they see 20 some children and it's a circus sideshow to them.
I guess for me, not being in the community as much, it is I see all those kids and go, wow, I can't believe that you can take care of all those kids. You know, whereas other people might not. What do you think about having that many kids in general?
I think it's irresponsible. There are too many people on this planet, and even if resources were split more equitably, I don't think we have enough for all the people that we have. And to have families like the Browns or even like the Duggars who they deny they're part of the Quiverful movement, but they read as Quiverful to me just listening to them talk. And yeah, there is no need in this day and age to have more than like 5 children at max, in my opinion.
In my opinion, you don't need any, but that's, me. Me, I don't ever think I want another child. So, well, another child. I don't have any kids. Whichever.
Well, Ted counts though.
Ted it does count. I'm surprised he hasn't started barking at you yet. He tends to like to be in our conversations. So next, I want to move on to some of life's big questions.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think happens to us when you die?
The physical us stops being. I don't believe in a soul exactly because I don't believe that there's anything separate from the body exactly. We have the energy we've put into the world, and we have things like artists, what we have put artistically into the world. But no, I have no picture of an afterlife.
Okay. What makes you smile?
Jelly bellies. Sadly, considering that the CEO gave all the money against trans kids in California, and I feel really bad buying any Jelly Bellies anymore.
But they're jelly bellies. How can you
Yeah,
not buy jelly bellies?
they are Jelly Bellies. And well, there's thinking, I know I've shared my diagnosis with you, but with everyone else watching, I'm bipolar 1 with rapid cycling with OCD tendencies, and my master didn't believe about Jelly Bellies until the first time he saw me with them. I very carefully put what flavors I want, how much of each flavor I want into a bag, pay for them, we go home, and then I divide them into all the flavors because I know all the Jelly Bellies, what their flavor is by sight. As long as you keep the Bertie Bott's out, I'm good. And I know what it is. And I'll put them into little piles, all the flavors, and then I'll eat a few, and then I'll put it back in them all back in the bag, all the separate piles, and then do it again later.
I've actually seen people that have done that. Me personally, I just grab a handful and throw in my mouth, so I'm
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah. No, I actually know recipes to make the various flavors, like um, two buttered popcorn. No, it's two blueberry muffins and no, two blueberry and one buttered popcorn makes you a blueberry morning muffin. I might be off on that recipe, but it's blueberry and buttered popcorn, and it's the only way that I like to eat the buttered popcorn Jelly Bellies.
See, now that's one of my favorites. That and I like cream soda.
Ah, that's good too. Those are good mixed with the Orange Crush.
Ooh, that's one. I'm gonna have to try that one next.
Yeah.
So, what makes you cry?
All sorts of things now. I never was big for crying for a reason. Crying used to always be related to a mood that I had no clue where the mood was from. However, since becoming a mom, somewhere during pregnancy or something was turned on, and yeah, I get silly weepy at moments, and for no reason I can say why I'm being silly weepy. Thinking of having to go see my mother, that's one definite thing that'll get me crying.
I think, yeah, me seeing your mother would make me cry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I still remember your response when I told you about the one time she got to get tried to get my sister and I not liking each other. That was bad. Remember, she told me that no one important sees me, so I don't have to worry about how I look. And this was in comparison to my sister, the realtor at the time.
She's she's just fun. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta love her. So, what makes a good friend?
Someone who doesn't feel the need to be shocked by me and can roll with the punches is a if I can tell someone is getting overly shocked or freaked out by any randomness that I might say, I mean, like the story of my friend Paul and the bread slave
Hmm.
that I shared on Facebook. I mean, yes, he was still waking up the poor man, but he managed to stand there and listen to me talk about the bread slave and Bret Michaels and all the craziness that was that very odd dream. Because I still don't remember why the 80s groupie body had Bret Michaels' head on top of it. That was one of the weirdest details, I think.
And why wouldn't it though? You know,
Well, yeah, and why was she a bread slave? That one never made sense to me either.
it's better to be a bread slave than a coke whore.
True. Very, very true.
What is the best advice you've ever received?
Hmm. Sit down and stay there. That would actually be Shaman's favorite order when I'm having health issues. He's it's always funny because so many people what they expect from me talking about the fact that I live in a master-slave relationship, they don't quite picture some of this stuff like I'm hypoglycemic, so I have to eat before him. And it took him years of reminding me constantly that I need to make sure to eat before I worry about his food. Because I will still default to it, regardless.
Well, you've been trained well.
Yeah.
So let's go on and talk about your latest release. What are you working on right now?
Um, right now, I am torn between two places in Vala's story. There's all the release stuff going on with Gates of the Garden Book 2. That includes stuff like writing the blog tour because there were quite a few people who were so anxious for the book that I decided to get it to you and to get the book out before I had the blog tour materials even all written and together, and figured I would just do it after the book had come out. And then I'm actually actively working in book 4, which amusingly got the title of The Beginning of Knowledge, book 4, because we're into the second week of Vala's training where the training piece of her life really starts to pick up. So yeah, there's a lot of rewriting in there, a lot of funny things, because I
So,
cannot have my sex separated from humor.
well, why would you?
Well, that's the thing. Too often it seems not my direct friends in the genre, but talking to reading other people that sometimes there seems this notion that like romance and humor and all that kind of stuff needs to be kept away from hardcore BDSM. Oh, I that was part of with Taboo Tuesday last week. I actually scared some people. Um, there was Anal Without Lube. That one got several people, and I almost felt bad about it.
Well, anal without lube hurts both. people.
Mm. But it's a story. And of course, I managed to respond to one of the commenters in such a way that I gave away a TMI comment because, well, it's my blog, and my blog tends to have so much TMI on it to begin with.
Yeah, I pop in from time to time, on that one. So who who should join your A team here on TrueAwesome.com?
Hmm. I don't know. I've been trying to think about that, especially because I will be sharing those special bits of sex in in my A team that I won't be putting on my blog as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I still have to figure out what's going to happen with Galen and Vala. You know, Galen being the only 100% gay man in the Queen's whole stable. But something's going to happen with him and Vala. I have to figure out what.
I think for I think that you should have Vala put on a strap on.
Hmm.
Makes sense to me.
That could, although part of me really says, she should get to watch Galen, possibly the Queen, probably Brannon, because I have written her to be quite the little voyeur, and yeah, getting to watch a bunch of bears in bed, that sounds like a good time to me.
That could well be a very good time. I mean, it'd be a good time for me anyways. So what haven't I asked you that I should have?
Hmm. I don't know. That it's always a hard one for me because I I have lived so much of my life just out there. You know, a lot of things that people would keep personal, I haven't, either by choice or by force. Like I think back to middle school when everyone found out that I had been raped at a church lock-in, and for some reason the majority opinion at my middle school was that I was obviously willing. I don't know how that math worked, but I was willing and it was okay to come up to me at the lunch tables to ask me about the situation. And that tends to be how my life has been, no matter how personal, how sensitive something would seem to be. Yeah, it doesn't get to stay that way in my life, either because I just talk about it and don't think about it. Although I'm amused thinking what's all behind me. I was joking with my beta reader before coming in, and there was the joke of, well, I'm not going to clean the headboard, and they'll get to see a few butt plugs, a few other BDSM toys, My Little Pony, all the weird etc. that lives on the headboard of my bed.
Yeah, I was definitely amused, but I knew to expect something special from you. So,
Yeah.
well,
Although, if I turn it this way, the teddy bear is visible.
you know,
All the stuff that's near my bed, because of course it wouldn't be normal.
why would you be normal?
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Well, Joelle, I really appreciate you coming to chat with us today. Um, this is going to be posted on TrueAwesome.com, right where you're at, and will be, I'm sure, spreading into far and wide. I'll have it edited in about an hour so that we get rid of all the garbage that you guys don't need to see. And check us out next week. Please check out the Awesome Store to see Joelle's books and join her A team, the Queen's Domain, here on TrueAwesome.com. and join us next Tuesday, and we're going to be talking with Tinian. Thank you so much, Joelle. You come back and see me again real soon, okay?
Will do.
All right, you are loved. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye-bye.